All right, let's finish off this problems here. We've already done a few of them, as you can see. Let's see here. The shape contains an isosceles triangle, okay, with a height of 8 centimeters. Okay, so it says determine. Sorry, where's my pen? Oh, okay. Determine the area of the shape up to the nearest tenth of a square centimeter. Okay, so let's begin by, if I want the area, I'm going to have to multiply. Okay, and so I look there, I'm going to have to multiply. It tells me we have an isosceles triangle, so isos means 2. So we have two sides that are congruent on a triangle. So that's why we have two sides are congruent. So I'm looking at my triangle in the middle. That's my triangle with two sides that are the same. That's why it's called an isosceles, because these two sides are the same. Okay. I also notice around it, well, of course, we have these 3 half circles. Okay. Of course, 2 half circles are the same, and the other one's going to be different because only 2 sides were congruent on the triangle, and this side was different. So, but I know to find the area of a triangle, it's base times height divided by 2. So, area of the triangle, the one highlighted in yellow, base. This is not the height, because that's not a right angle. But that imaginary line that comes down, it's perpendicular to the base, which is a 90-degree angle, so that's my base and height. So 12 times 8 divided by 2. Okay, that'll give you the answer to this triangle. Now you have to find this circle here. Well, if I had the whole circle, it would be like that. Obviously, this is the one point coming all the way across to the other side, it being the center of the circle. And so this would be the diameter. So the diameter is 12. The radius is 6. So you would find the area is equal to pi times radius squared divided by 2, because you have a half circle. We're going to use pi as 3. So this would be 3 times the radius divided by 2. That's another answer you're going to get. Okay, that's 2 answers. 1, 2. Now you have to find the area of this circle. Now, if you can see these two halves, if I put them together, it makes one circle. Obviously, if it's all the one circle, one complete circle, this is going from one end to the other side, being this the center. So that's the diameter. So the diameter is 10. So the radius is 5. So you can use this equation, pi times radius squared. You're not going to divide by 2 because you have 2 halves that make one whole circle. So let's not divide by 2. Let's just put pi, which is 3, times the radius times the radius. You have the radius right here. So now you're going to have a third answer. 1, 2, 3. You're going to get those 3 answers and add them together. And that'll give you your final answer. Let's go to number 6. Number 6, Melinda used 2 shapes of fabric in quilting pattern. What is the area of the combined pieces measured in square inches? Okay, so area we're going to have to multiply. Combine usually means add. Okay, well, let's combine them. Let's combine our figures there. Okay, well, I obviously can see a triangle here. Okay, that's a triangle. And I see that's a parallelogram. Okay. But I also know that together they form a trapezoid. And so really I can find the area of a trapezoid because together they form a trapezoid. This is called an irregular trapezoid. So, you know, it kind of looks like this here. This is a trapezoid. This is also a trapezoid. See? You can see it does look like ours, except it's facing the other way. But this is a trapezoid, that's a trapezoid. this is a trapezoid. Okay, so trapezoid, trapezoid, trapezoid. And so then all we need is to find the bases and the height. And so the equation is base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Okay, so what are the bases? Well, the bases are the ones across each other. Okay, these are your bases. So this is the base, this is the other base, this is your height. This will be 3.5. Okay, so base 1, base 2. Base 1, base 2. Put them in the parentheses. Get the sum, multiply times 3.5 is your height, and then divide by 2. And you get your answer. Number 7, Pete cut a square window in the wall of the workshop. So he cut a piece out. That usually means subtract. Sometimes. The window measured 18 inches. What is the area? Area means multiply. Okay. Now look at your, this is in inches and these are in yards. If I look at my answer choices, they're in yards. So obviously we're keeping the yards. And I can see this big old rectangle here. Okay, that's a big old rectangle. Okay. And so I'm going to use that, my big rectangle here. I know I can say area is equal to base times height. Well, base, this is 5. Height or height here is the same thing. So all you do is 5 times 3. That gives you 15. So 5 times 3, 15 square yards. That's for the whole rectangle. But he wants to cut this piece out. Well, that means you got to find out what the area of this is to subtract from here, to cut it out, to take away. Obviously, you cannot just say, okay, 18 times 18, because it is a square. It says there, look, a square. You can't just say 18 times 18 because these are in inches. You want it in square yards. So you got to convert these guys to yards. And so what we do know is that in 1 yard, there's 3 feet. We also know that in 1 foot, there's 12 inches. So then in 1 yard, how many inches do we have? So 1 yard, 3 feet, 1 foot has 12 inches. So if it has 3 of these inside here, that means it has 3 sets of 12. Well, 12 times 3, 36 inches. Well, if there's 36 inches in 1 yard, how much do we have in half of a yard? Well, if I cut this in half, so I cut this in half, and that means I have 18 inches in half a yard. So 1 yard was 36 inches. Well, if I cut this in half, I cut this in half. And so that means 18 inches is actually 0.5 yards. So that means if that's 0.5, this is 0.5. And so now we just multiply base times height. So 0.5 times 0.5, which is just 0.5 times 0.5, which is 5 times 5, which is 25. 2 numbers to the right of the decimal, 1, 2, so it's 0.25. So this is what I'm going to subtract from the 15 square yards to get the final answer. Okay, look at the next one there. A countertop is shown below. Determine the area of the countertop to the nearest tenth of a foot. So again, area is just multiply. Okay. Obviously, you can see there's rectangles, but there's also, well, this looks like a circle, looks like a half circle, but it's actually a quarter circle. Okay. So it's a quarter circle. And so what I can do is make rectangles of what's here, of this. Like I can do this. Okay, let me just bring this all the way down. And then this here is just area is equal to base times height. Well, base, this is 2 by 4. So this is just 8 square feet. because base is 2, height, this height here is the same as this, and that's 4, so that's 4, so 2 times 4 is 8. Okay, so now we do this one here. This here, if this is 2 and it's 4, so this is also 2 here, because 2 plus 2 has to give you the 4, which is all the way. And then this is 2, so again, area is base times height, 2 times 2, which is 4 square feet. Now we got to find this one here. If this is 2, then that means this is 2. Okay, well, it just happens to be the radius of the circle because it goes from the center to the outside, so that's the radius. And so now we have to figure this out. Pi times radius squared divided by, it's a quarter circle, so we got to divide by 4. Okay, use pi as 3. Okay, so you have one answer, 2 answers, and get this third answer, and then add them together, and you get your final answer. Okay. Same thing for number 9 here. Find the area of all the rectangles. Okay, so here, look, make a, make a line here. Okay. Okay, so all the way down is 38.5. Okay. If this is 11, this is 15, what does this measure if total is 38.5? So this plus that gives you this. Well, first add these two. And so these two together, 15 plus 11 is 26. So then 38.5 minus 26, line up your decimals. As you can see, I put 26.0. That's where the decimal should go. I didn't do if you do this, you'll get it wrong. 38.5. Okay, if you do that, you'll get it wrong. That's not it. It's a whole number, so 26.0. Okay, and how did I get 26? Remember, 11 plus 15 is 26, plus this gives you 38.5. So you need to subtract. And this will give me 12.5. So this is 12.5. Well, this is also 12.5. So that means that I have my base and height here, base times height. So this is the base, so base times the height, well, it's the same as that. So then I have my two numbers. That's one answer. The other one is this here, okay? This is is another rectangle right here. Okay, again, base times height. So right here again, you're gonna use base times height. Okay, well, what is the base? Well, your base is from here to here. Well, what does that measure? Well, it's the same as this. It's the same as this here. So if this is 15 and 11 is 26, well, it's the same as this here. So this would be 26. And 26 by what? Well, the height is already given to you, 13. So this here is the same as this. 15 plus 11 gives you 26. So this would also be 26. So base 26 times the height 13. There's two answers you need right there. And then the third one is here. Okay, if this is 15 here, then obviously this is 15 also. And so now you know that you can, this rectangle, I'm going to highlight here. Okay, what's the base and what's the height? Well, if this is 15, this is also 15. So here you're going to also use base times height. Your base being the 15. What's your height? Well, if this is 26 and this is 13, what does this measure here? Well, 13 plus this has to give you 26. So all you got to do, okay, if you can't see it, just subtract 26 minus 13. Because this is 13, so subtract 26 minus 13 to give you the difference, which is also 13. And so this is also 13 here. So now you know, base, which is 15, times the height 13. Find the answer, you multiply them. So you get 3 answers, and you add them together to get the final answer. The last one here, Ms. Clark built a deck around the swimming pool and sandbox in her backyard. What is the area of the decking that surrounds the pool and the sandbox? Again, you got multiply Okay, so what is the area of the deck that surrounds the pool? So they want the deck. They don't want the swimming pool. They don't want the sandbox. So they're gonna give you a shaded area. Okay, so find the area of first of this figure here, which is just a simple parallelogram. So this is just area is equal to base times height. That's it. Well, if this is 50, well, guess what? This is also 50. It happens to be the base. So 50, 50, 50 is the base. What's the height? This is not the height because that's not perpendicular to the base. No 90-degree angle here. But this is perpendicular to the base. And so this is the height of my parallelogram. So 50 times 35, base times height. That's one answer. And then this swimming pool is a 20 by 25. So this one is just base times height. This is 20 by 25. 20 times 25 gives you this area. And then the sandbox is a upside down triangle where this is base times height. So this would be 21.5. So you would use here is base times height divided by 2. The base being 7, the height being 21.5 divided by 2. Okay, so base times height divided by 2. Base times height divided by 2 gives you an answer. You get an answer here. You're going to add those two and subtract it from the area of the parallelogram. So remember, you get an answer of this white part, add them together and subtract it from the area of the parallelogram, which is 50 times 35. Okay, so 50 times 35. This 50 times 35 gives you this, which is the whole thing. This rectangle is a 20 by 25. And this is a 7 by 21.5. So 3 answers, 2 of them you add together and subtract it from the parallelogram. And good luck. I hope this has helped you. Adios.